Okay.
So with the European giants of Spain and Portugal waiting in the wings, remember they face each other this evening in Sochi. This is the match that really matters for these two, Morocco and Iran. It has been described, in fact, in their own media as their own World Cup final. And fittingly, it's being played in one of the most famous cities in all of Russia, St. Petersburg, and in one of the newest and best stadiums in the whole of Europe, a stadium that's already been chosen as a venue for one of the World Cup semi-finals. For Morocco, it's their first appearance in the finals for 20 years, while Iran took part at this stage just 4 years ago in Brazil, as I've mentioned. They're both football-mad nations, and I'm sure there'll be millions of people watching on television sets back home. Alvin, on paper, this looks like one of the more predictable groups. It's very difficult to see how it can be anyone other than Spain and Portugal going through to the round of 16.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we'll come back to that question in a moment, because now we've been asked to stand and give respect to the national anthems of Morocco and Iran. And a terrific reception as well for the Iranian national anthem. A surprisingly large number of their supporters here. I'm sure everyone realises that Iran has been isolated as a nation for many years now, and they're still under heavy sanctions, once suspended by FIFA because of government interference. Not particularly easy to travel from that part of the world. Alvin, I was going to say before the national anthems, if one of these two nations can cause what would be one of the shocks of the tournament by getting in ahead of either Spain or Portugal, which one do you think it would be?
I'd plump for Morocco. I think that they come into this tournament 18 games unbeaten. That in itself is a confidence breeding exercise. You know, you're not used to losing games. And I think also the coach, Bernard, is somebody that said, you know, we don't want to just come into this and make the numbers up. We've worked tremendously hard to get here, and we want to do ourselves justice. And I believe that he will give it a go. He will be certainly the more adventurous in terms of setting his team out.
Well, there does seem little prospect of either of them taking points off Spain and Portugal. So, therefore, do you expect a good open game here? Because a draw surely wouldn't suit either of them.
I think it depends with the way that Iran's set up here. You know, they will, I think, be a little worried about going too open, Alan, because I think, you know, they will want to stay in the game. for as long as possible. And I see them really marking that little bit deeper, shielding their goal, and choosing the times that they can actually release people forward to attack. So I think, Morocco are going to have to be very careful that if they do have a lot of the ball, sometimes when you have a lot of possession, it's so easy then to lose concentration at the back because you're not constantly involved in the game, and it's a little easy in that respect. And then when a team does spring a counter-attack, you can be caught out. So that's something that certainly Bernard will have to be careful of. Still an into his players, but Iran, I think, will be the more cautious.
Well, for those of you listening on your way home, perhaps for a long sunny weekend, don't forget to take your radios with you into the garden or on the beach, because Topspot will be covering every single match in this tournament. You may be thinking, well, there's not a lot of interest in that game for me. Well, you'd be wrong, because there's quite a few British connections. The Moroccan team contains players like Roman Saiss, who was a mainstay in the Wolves' defence when they won promotion from the Championship to the Premier League last season. Boussoufa was at the academy at Chelsea, although he never made it into the first team there. He's now with Anderlecht in Belgium. El Amadi played for Aston Villa. He was actually Paul Lambert's first signing when Lambert was Villa manager. And Amrabat has played in the Premier League for Watford. There's also a sprinkling of players in the Iranian team who have played and still play club football overseas. Razanian played for the Belgian club Ostend. Hadj Safi for Olympiacos. And Azmoun, the striker for Ruben Kazan from Russia. And also Jahan Baksh is in the Netherlands with AZ Alkmaar. And although it might not look the most glamorous tie on paper, this is a desperately important match for both these teams. Morocco, of course, have already suffered a major disappointment even before a ball is kicked here, when FIFA rejected their bid to stage the World Cup finals of 2026 in favour of USA, Canada and Mexico. So they might just feel that they have something to prove here. They will get us underway in this beautiful brand new stadium in St. Petersburg in their usual kit of red shirts and green shorts. Iran all in white. The referee is one of the most experienced European officials, Cüneyt Çakır from Turkey. And Iran, surprisingly, have the edge in terms of World Cup experience as Morocco get the game underway. They've kept most from the tournament in Brazil, most of their squad from 4 years ago, whereas not a single player in the Moroccan squad has ever played at this stage before. Noisy, partisan crowd. It's about 24, 25 degrees centigrade here in St. Petersburg. And the first free kick of the game has gone the way of Iran. Their goalkeeper, Alireza Biranvan, a player who we're told is eager to come off his line, but he also has a reputation for excellent distribution. He uses his right foot to knock the ball long to the edge of the Moroccan penalty area, and another collision gives another early free kick, which Morocco have taken straight away. Boos from the Iranian contingent in the crowd. With Morocco in possession now at the back. We were told they were going to play a 3-4-3 system, Morocco, which would be unusual and out of context for them, as their centre-half, Benatia, their captain as well, hits a long ball right to the edge of the Iranian penalty area. A bit of head tennis there, and then the first shot in anger by Morocco was well off target, posing no problem at all for Biranvan in the Iranian goal. Not a bad effort, caught it well with his right foot there. Amin Habib, the 20-year-old, but it was always wide of target.
Well, I think we'll probably see some more direct play in this game than we've seen so far. And it's we were talking about before, it's a very difficult tactic to be able to cope with. A lot of teams now pass, little 10-yard short passes, but Morocco will mix it up. They'll play short. But
in England, he was in charge for 25 games in total back in 2004. He left them just one place off the bottom of League Two. Here he is now leading his country, not his home country, of course, in the World Cup finals. And again, it's a long ball, underlining what Alvin said, up to El Kaabi, the main striker. Ayoub El Kaabi wins the first corner of the game for Morocco. The man in charge of Iran will be very well known to British listeners, Carlos Queiroz, who had 2 spells at Manchester United as Sir Alex Ferguson's assistant. He also coached Real Madrid and Sporting Lisbon, a very impressive CV for him. But now watching this team under a little bit of pressure early on here, It's a corner to Morocco out on their left-hand side. Belhanda will take it. It's going to be right-footed to the edge of the box. Whoa! And a complete miskick there by Ziyech. The ball is played back in. Iran still under pressure, and they've conceded another corner. Ziyech, who's rated as their star player, had an air shot here.
Well, it wasn't easy, but they switched off Iran. He wouldn't be happy about that, the manager, because it's in the penalty area. And it's a complete miskick. I just looked at the replay of it there. It just looked like his standing foot went from underneath him.
Different corner kick taker, Basufa this time. Up towards the far post, the goalkeeper comes out and chooses to punch. It was an effective tactic as well, but they're still under pressure around here. They've really come out of the blocks flying, Morocco. They want to get this game done and dusted as early as they can. They know that Spain and Portugal are waiting for them, two of the giants of these World Cup finals. And all the early possession here is with the red-shirted Moroccans in possession now on the halfway line, with Hakimi, who normally is a right-back, playing on the opposite flank today. El Amadi plays it forward into the centre circle. And again, they switch it out to the right-hand side to Amrabat. Amrabat, edge of the box, gets his cross in. A flying header sees the ball fly over the Iranian crossbar. That was a good build-up, but Belhanda's final effort, again, like the earlier ones from Morocco, off target.
Well, they're certainly trying to seize the initiative early on in the game, aren't they, Morocco? They're getting people forward. They're playing with a lot of aggression. We've already said they're playing long, but they're also playing quite expansive as well. They work this ball out to the right-hand side, but there was a lot of space. And I think they've come into the game trying to make something happen. They don't want Iran to get into a nice groove where they're looking solid and trying to frustrate Morocco. They're going to say, OK, we're going to take the game to you, which is what I expected before the game.
You're listening to Topspot's live coverage of this opening game in Group B of the 2018 World Cup Finals. It's Morocco against Iran, and it's been all Morocco in the opening 5 minutes here. They've already had a couple of off-target efforts, and they have the ball again in an attacking position. A great run here by...
It's one that he probably will let go, but I think there's a warning being dished out there.
Yeah, the ball was, in the end, knocked onto Harrit, who was the player brought down. It was a very risky challenge, and the referees had a word with the offender, the number 4, Ruzbek Cheshmi, who's a bit of a newcomer to the Iranian lineup, can play at the back or as a defensive midfielder. He's had a warning from the referee, but no yellow card. Be interesting, because as far as I'm aware, we haven't yet used VAR in these World Cup finals. It's there for all the referees, of course, and for the benefit of the game in general. And I'm not quite sure where they're located exactly, but it's a German team of assistant referees, VAR referees, with one Mexican as well. I understand they actually get changed into their referee fits. No sitting there in the... Another long ball played out to Amrabat for Morocco, just outside the Iranian penalty area. The ball is cleared for a throw-in to the Moroccans, who've done all the early running here. And Iran know they're in a game. The ball with Bousafa, Belhanda, just outside the penalty area of Iran, cleared again. They haven't even got, I'm not sure they've crossed the halfway line, to be honest, with 7 minutes gone here, Iran. They've been absolutely pegged back. They were one of the very first countries to qualify for these finals after the hosts Russia and inevitably, of course, Brazil. But remember that they're no mugs. They've reached the finals in 3 of the last 4 World Cups. So they've got plenty of experience, but either they have chosen to defend from the off here. Oh, they got no choice about it at all, Alvin.
No, I think this is the way, I think he would have set his team up.
Great long ball into the Iranian penalty area again, and the first shot coming in from El Kaabi was just wide of the far post. Real chance that for the Moroccans to take the lead.
Again, it's a long ball. They got on second ball here. He was by white shirts, wasn't he, El Kaabi, and he just couldn't let the ball come down. He wasn't given the time to be able to get the shot on target, but really encouraging start.
Bit of a surprise that he's even in the lineup, because he didn't figure at all in the qualification process for Morocco. Remember, they're here for the first time in 20 years. They were winners in a group that included the Ivory Coast, Gabon and Mali. Unbeaten, top scorers, didn't even concede in 6 ties, 3 wins and 3 draws. Very colourful sight, this stadium. A lot of fans from both the competing nations, and I suspect a lot of Russians as well, as El Kaabi takes Morocco forward again, just outside the penalty area, knocks it to Amrabat. Amrabat crosses, and the ball is cleared by Rezaïn, and it's going to be a throw-in to Morocco. They've got on with it. Amrabat has seen a lot of the ball early on the right-hand side, the shaven-headed right wing player for Morocco. It's cleared upfield by Iran, and they still haven't managed to get the ball into the Moroccan half. An astonishing start this in that respect. Their front players haven't seen any kind of possession yet. Morocco looking good. And another foul committed by Iran right on the halfway line, and this time that has tested the referee's patience. And he has produced the first yellow card of the game for Shojai.
I think they rattled Iran. I think they would have expected maybe to be second best in terms of possession, but I don't think they would have expected Morocco to get in as good positions as they have early on in this game. But in the first 10 minutes, and it's been constant. The possession hasn't been round the back. The possession has been in good areas, especially down this right-hand side. Amrabat's had a lot of ball, hasn't he? He's playing as a real advanced right wing-back.
Well, this is almost like a Premier League team taking on a lower division side in an FA Cup tie, because Iran have just said, well, we're going to have everybody 11 men behind the ball, but they've won it back now on the halfway line very briefly. They could have had a quick counter-attack on there. They didn't, and now they're under pressure again as Amrabat commits a foul right on the edge of the Iranian penalty. But one mistake there in midfield, Alvin, suddenly looked as though it was going to give Iran a break.
Yeah, I've said that sometimes when you're dominating the game to this degree, it's so easy to switch off, lose concentration, and that was an example of it there. And fortunate that Benatia, who's the leader in this back line for Morocco, he's got the pace and the power to be that ball back, but it was a moment where they just were a little casual there, Morocco.
Both teams have been in excellent form. Morocco unbeaten in their last 18 internationals, stretching back over a year, the longest undefeated run they've enjoyed for over 40 years, whereas Iran have lost just 2 of their last 16 internationals, but not against perhaps the quality of the opposition that Morocco have faced in their unbeaten spell. Well, for the first time now, Iran have actually got a throw-in halfway inside the Moroccan half of the field. Ball and a header out by Benatia that has given them that, and you wouldn't want to be a front man at the moment for Iran, because they have just not had a touch yet. They might now. It looks as though it's going to be a long throw in. Azmoun, the striker, waiting to try and find a bit of room there in the middle as Haj Safi throws it in short in the air. Cross straight into the hands of goalkeeper Munir, who gets Morocco on the front foot. A good early throw out. This is a very high-paced, high-tempo start to the game here by the Moroccans, who are attacking again just outside Iran's penalty area. Poor ball, though, and in the end, Iran, well, they looked as though they were going to just safely see the ball out of play. They didn't do that, and it was a mistake there, really, by Rezaïn, but he's got away with it as Morocco regained possession. We've had 12 minutes of play, and I'll be very interested to see the possession statistics for those first 12 minutes. It must be something like 75-80%, I would say, to Morocco. Here they go again with Amrabat, outside right position, just outside Iran's penalty area. Plays it in short, gets it back again. The man who played in the Premier League for Watford on loan from the Spanish club Leganes last season. Now it's swept out by Ziyech to the far wing as they switch play. to Hakimi, the Real Madrid fullback. Now it goes in long again, but an easy take this time for Birenban, the Iranian goalkeeper, who's in no great hurry to get the ball out, realising, I think, that maybe if he does, possession will switch back to Morocco again fairly instantly.
Well, possession doesn't win you games. It gives you an opportunity of winning games, and it's what you do with that possession that's important. And at the moment, they're failing to find that delivery, the quality around the edge of the box, Morocco. They've done everything else so well.
Here's Ziyech on the move again, finding the ever-dangerous El Hamadi on the far post. He knocks it in, and it's cleared just in the nick of time by Rezaïn, but he'll have to get his concentration going again, because Morocco will take the throw-in quickly halfway inside the Iranian half. You're listening to Topspot's live coverage from St. Petersburg of the opening game in Group B, with Spain facing Portugal. Remember, the two giants of this group later this evening. This is a massive game for these two countries, and all the early possession, all the early chances have fallen to the red-shirted Moroccans. But now Iran win the ball back on the halfway line as Moon takes them forward. Finally, they're getting some men forward, but not for long. Possession is nicked back again by Morocco and played forward to El Kaabi, who slips at the vital moment. So Iran comfortably regained possession on this occasion. But there's been nothing about the opening 15 minutes here that has been calm and comfortable for them, as Moon loses possession. And they're strolling through it at the back at the moment, the Moroccans. Roman Saiz, the Wolves man, has probably had the easiest quarter of an hour in his experience for many, many months, I would think. He has possession now, halfway inside Morocco's half, as they build slowly. Arguably the best of the 5 nations in these finals. They've got some talented footballers with clubs in many of the top European leagues, and they're making that experience count. But now they have conceded through Amin Havid a free kick to Iran, halfway inside the Iranian half.
I like Harit. He's wearing number 18 from Morocco, and he's somebody with the ball at his feet. He's got a lot of balance. What they need to do is get him in the advanced areas on the ball, because he can't go past people at the moment. A lot of his good work is in the deeper areas. But you've got to give credit to Iran. The first 15 minutes has been a difficult first 15 minutes for them, but they're showing a lot of their togetherness, and they come into this tournament, with a very good defensive record, and you can see why. They all get around each other, help each other, and collectively they all know their duties defensively.
Here come Morocco again, with Saiz playing it out to that left-hand side to Hakimi. They're on the halfway line. Iran have 11 men back behind the ball, and you can see how hard their coach Carlos Queiroz has been working on their shape. 6 years, their national coach now. Now the ball is played long to the edge of Iran's penalty area, but again the central defender Burali Ganji gets it clear. But inevitably, when they do shut the door, the ball ends up back at the feet of a Moroccan player, as it has now. And they're coming forward with Amrabat. Has to play it back. There was nothing on, really. Benatia, the captain, was rated one of the best central defenders in the Italian league. And another attack for Morocco breaks down. A goal kick to Iran, and another chance to suck it in, because they have had to work very hard to close down Morocco in these opening stages, Alvin.
What they're going to be a little careful of, Morocco, is they've started so well, and I'm sure the manager will be delighted with the application of his team, is that you can get victim of the game.
Well, they do. They are renowned for having a great team spirit, and albeit they've been allowed to, the way they have dominated the opening stages here suggests that they could be a problem even for Portugal and Spain. But it's been difficult to judge, because Iran, well, they just haven't bothered to play so far, Iran. They've just defended in numbers. And Azmoun, their lone striker, a gifted young man who spent the last few seasons in the Russian league, well, he may as well have a deck chair at the moment, because the ball's not getting anywhere near him. Now they've committed another foul as well, and the referee is going to come over and have a word with the offending player. They've got to be careful not to lose their discipline in that sense. Giving away free kicks is the last thing they need to do when they're already under much pressure. Amiri, the player who committed the latest foul, and that is giving Morocco a chance to get the ball into the penalty area. It's about halfway inside the Iranian half, in a very central position. little discussion going on as to what's the best. The player taking the free kick looks as though he's going to have a go here. I can't believe that from that distance. He's backing away now, and I'm sure this will be clipped into the players on the edge of the penalty box. It is indeed. Iran. The number 7, Ziyech, the shot there. And then finally Benatia gets a shot in as well. They just had so many bodies in the way around there. They have managed to deny Morocco again. Corner.
Well, they're very fortunate here, Iran, because it's poor defending there. It's a terrible clearance, and they just get lucky. It's a save by the keeper. It's the first real chance of the game for Morocco.
Benatia, the captain, with the shot. It's another corner. Almost 19 minutes gone here on Topspot in St. Petersburg. Morocco 0, Iran 0. And the referee calling over yet another Iranian player. He's already lectured 2 or 3 of them and shown a yellow card to Shojai. And now he's seen something else going on before the corner comes in. Finally, he whistles to allow the kick to be taken. And it comes in towards that near post area where Iran deal with it once more, but at the expense of a throw-in, which Zayed himself has taken. And already gets it back from Yusufa, but finally the ball out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Iran deep inside their own half.
Well, it's an intriguing game, and I think they've dominated possession early on, as we've said, not really created a real clear opening, Morocco, and it was a good save that we just seen there from the keeper. They spotted it very early and they committed people forward, and they had a man over on this left hand side. Ball in was slightly behind, not the right weight, and the first touch wasn't good enough. Otherwise, Morocco could have found himself 1-0 down.
Hadsafi with a long throw into the Moroccan penalty area, cleared by their defence, but not entirely clear yet. And they've picked the ball up again with Shojai, just inside the Moroccan half this time. They've had to go back, in fact, all the way back to their goalkeeper, Yeranban, who kicks it right-footed. A really good deep kick there. And the referee has given a free kick to to Iran for a foul by the Moroccan captain Benatia midway inside his own half when he climbed high to try and win the header. Didn't seem to do that much wrong, although he did flick a boot out towards the Iranian player in front of him. So suddenly, in the space of a couple of minutes, the nature of the game has changed here.
I think it's a really intriguing face-off this.